Marketing, where each week you get a hot tip to help you grow your business and change the world. I'm your host, Jennifer Trask, and as you can see today, I have a beautiful guest with me, and her name is Regina Wright. Regina, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jennifer.
And thank you for being here. I'm so excited to have Regina here because I've been a student of Regina's for about a year and a half, I guess it's been. And in one of our sessions last week, we had a discussion about something that a lot of self-help coaches talk about a lot, I know. And I said, everyone else needs to know the answer to that, I think. So I'm excited today because what we're going to talk about is that time when you're focusing on growing your business and, you're doing the law of attraction, you're doing your manifesting, you're doing your visualizations and affirmations and all that. And for some reason, nothing seems to be happening. And what we're going to talk about with Regina today is for you, ways that you can know that things are happening even though physically nothing's necessarily manifested yet. And she's also going to give you a couple of hot tools that you can use to really speed things up that you might not know about yet. So, Regina, thanks for being here. And before we get into the content, let's give people, for those who don't know you, how did you become a modern day shaman?
The first time I really got exposed, and what a shaman really is somebody who embraces the ancient wisdom. And the reason I call myself a modern day shaman is that I also have studied with many of the modern day thinkers and people who have used the scientific research and modern exploration of spirituality and healing and health and the mind-body connection.
Okay. And so how does that work together to help somebody? What does that do for them?
Well, the shaman is the keeper of the ancient wisdom.
Okay.
For centuries, millennia, ever since we were on this planet as human beings, there have been people who hold that space and they have the wisdom to help people in all areas of their life. Shaman are often seen as spiritual helpers as well, but they can help people at many levels of their lives. So my journey as a shaman started when I had the opportunity to move way up north past the Arctic Circle.
Oh.
I was living in a very small community in the Western Arctic, and I think it was the first day I was there, the first full day I was there. I was walking down the street, this mud-covered street, with my brand new rubber boots on.
Yeah, they'd be useful up there.
Exactly. And I ran into two ladies who were walking by. It was a community that had First Nations, Canadian First Nations, the most northerly group in the world, and they were called the Gwich'in. And I was walking past and smiled at them, and they stopped and came over to me. And the older lady, who was wearing traditional dress, beautiful embroidered boots on with a little rubber protection on the feet, and a bandana and so on. And she came and she looked deep in my eyes and she held my hands and she said words that I didn't understand because they were in her language, they were in Gwich'in. But now I do know what they meant, or some of them meant. She held my hand and she said, Masi Cho, Van Gwinzi, and some other words. And the lady who was with her translated, she said, welcome to our community, and good day. And she also said, this is very special that you're here. You're here for a very important reason. And I didn't know what that was at the time, but after spending, and I was only there a year, but after spending that year there, I realized how important that year was for my spiritual growth.
Right.
It was a very powerful year for me to get over a lot of the fears that I had and to expand my consciousness and to look at things from a much wider perspective.
And so I know that you have so many certifications and qualifications and so many tools in your toolbox, as I call it, from all the coaches that I work with. So how did you come to the point where you now are a shaman, and how do you translate that into helping clients?
Spirit works in mysterious ways sometimes.
Certainly does.
And there's a little bit of a humorous story how I got full time into the self-help profession. And I had been teaching in the southern Yukon, and prior to moving north, I had done some um, teaching at college for 8 years, and I did corporate training and so on, but had also been studying, because it was a little bit of a pastime of mine to do study Reiki and that kind of thing, because I have been for years interested in people helping themselves.
Right.
And used it a lot in my role as a teacher. So I happened to be on the computer one Sunday night checking to see if the next day was garbage or compost, because Whitehorse was very advanced in recycling everything at that time. And sure enough, it was recycling, but I found a link at the bottom of the computer screen on the City of Whitehorse page that I didn't see before.
Right.
And it was a link to Jobs Yukon, and I saw an ad when I went on that site for Aroma Borealis. And Aroma Borealis was looking for somebody to manage their alchemist kitchen as an aromatherapist. So I quickly got excited and tweaked my resume and sent it off, and met with the owner just 2 days later, an amazing lady called Beverly Gray. And she was a herbalist and aromatherapist, and I worked with her and mentored with her for 4 years.
Wow.
And I learned so much, and that was like a gathering place. Not only was it a herb shop, and I made like over 200 products for the natural healthcare market, but I also learned and mentored with her and met people from all over the world who came as looking for advice or looking for who to see and what to do, spiritual seekers.
Right.
That would come, and it was just an amazing time for me. And through that, I met another lady who was a Cree shaman, a nurse practitioner and a Cree shaman, and I did a lot of work with her. And a Hawaiian shaman, of all places, Whitehorse, showed up at Whitehorse, and I did several months of study with him.
Wow. left Hawaii to go to the Yukon. Brave
That's right.
soul.
And I just had more and more opportunities, because Whitehorse was a mecca for study.
Okay, right.
And some wonderful world-class people, like one of my amazing teachers, Anna Dea Judith, came there, and I did several workshops with her. And it was just opportunity after opportunity to learn right there and to travel.
Right.
I became certified in healing touch and many, many other things while I was there. And through one of my healing touch friends, met a shaman from the U.S., a Cherokee Circle chief, and I did quite a lot of study with him as well.
Right.
And
awesome.
So many, many opportunities opened up after that. And with each person I studied with gave me another piece of the puzzle, another perspective, and I realized that there was so much out there. So many beautiful things, and what a wonderful time for us to be here. And no matter what way we want to move forward or change our lives, there is the opportunities are endless, and the ways, as unique as we are, there are as many unique ways for us to move forward and create the life that we know that we're here to live.
So that's a perfect segue into, I know a lot of the people that are watching today are like you, out wanting to help others, and in order to do that, they need to get their message out. They need more people to know about them. And so they're working on growing their business, on expanding their horizons, their spiritual growth. So with that comes the growth of the business. And sometimes, like it had happened to me, as you know, it can get frustrating because sometimes it just doesn't work the way you think it's going to work. Things don't unfold as fast as you want to unfold. Now, sometimes it goes faster, but a lot of times, particularly in the beginning years, it takes longer than we think. So maybe you can share with us some of your ancient wisdom for modern times about, how do we know that even though we don't physically see something, how do we know things really are working for us?
There are a few signs that you can look for, and one of the analogies I like to use is it's a type of bamboo that when we set our intention, everything starts with an intention or an idea, right? It's not yet in physical form, and it's an idea, it's an intention. So we set that intention, we want to grow or shift or move forward or change something that's not working in our life. And the bamboo is a seed, and I often use the analogy about growing your inner garden, growing your garden, tending to your garden.
Right.
Because my perspective is mostly through the spiritual route.
Right.
And that's shamans, even though there's other medicines that are in there that you like, essential oils and herbs and so on. But it's the spiritual path. And so with the bamboo, you plant a seed, and that seed lays seemingly dormant for years. And it's a story that one of my teachers, Denise Lynn, tells. I think could be up to several years. And then once everything, all the things that are happening, because inside the bamboo it knows, inside that seed it knows when it's time. So when that breaks forward through the soil, and then it just shoots up, 20, 30 feet in a couple of years.
Right. But it was percolating.
Mm-hmm.
And so essentially then what you're saying is that's what's happening to us.
Yeah.
And actually that's in alignment with, for those who are more logical thinkers, that's in alignment with, you'll see a lot of business growth, and you'll see on average a business will go like this, percolating, and then it shoots up.
Yeah.
And so it's sort of, I think, between the end of the straight road towards the curve that people start to get anxious. And I think this is also where a lot of people tend to give up on their dreams and maybe think, this isn't for me, I can't do this anymore, whatever that is. And that's really the time when you gotta hold tight to your vision.
Exactly. And that's the time, and you're a self-help coach. And I know you're absolutely brilliant at what you do.
Oh.
And so whatever it is that you're creating, if it's a business that you're trying to grow, and it's the same thing, a coach helps you hold that vision.
Yes.
And supports you.
Right.
And you're a visionary as well, so you're able to see beyond what ordinary people can see and hold that space for people to really grow. So you give people the space to be that bamboo.
Right. Yeah. And it takes time. We all know that.
Exactly. So when there are a number of things, when you plant the seed, and it could be like the analogy of the bamboo, but whatever we're trying to do, we're planting multiple seeds. And I know with you, because I've worked with you as well, and I know just how wonderful you work with people, is that when you plant, the clearer you are with your seed, the clearer your vision, then the easier it is for your bamboo or your any kind of flower in your garden to grow. Whatever it is you want to create, the clearer you are, and tapping into your heart and just seeing, does this really feel right? Does this feel something that's in alignment with me? So that's one thing. Always ask. And your body is an amazing mechanism. Your body is so responsive when you ask. You close your eyes and you tap in. How does this feel?
Right.
What's the reaction my body is giving me, particularly your heart space?
Right.
And you will get a sense of, yeah, this is right. Or is this just something that I decided because I'm kind of following along with the modern trends or what people expect of me and so on. And we often get into that pattern. So I'm still doing it because this is what it has been expected of me. And I don't really make my decisions from that heart-based. So that's one of the things you can do is really, before you plant your garden, tend to all the things that you need to make the soil as rich as possible.
Okay, and can you give us a couple of examples of what that would be?
Yeah. So if you're trying to grow something, just tap in to see, is this the perfect thing for you? And and look at all parts of yourself, because as a shaman as well, we're always aware that our physical, we are four aspects. We're a physical human being, we're mental, with our thoughts, we have a mental component, and we're a spiritual human being, and we're emotional. So tending to all of those and looking to see, are there any aspects of you in any of those areas that are not in alignment? So that can you develop the habits yourself that are going to support you to grow whatever it is?
Right.
And if not, there's so many wonderful people that you can go see to support you and motivate you.
Right. And so while people are getting the support they need
Mm-hmm.
and they're getting really clear
Yeah.
on what they want, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure, and I know, particularly when I work with clients too, it takes a few months and then they gain even more clarity,
Yeah.
which is
Mm-hmm.
great. But what are some of the other things people can keep an eye out for where they're sort of going to say, oh, you know what, it is working, and bring them back to that place of trust
Mm-hmm.
that everything is working out for them, the universe is working in favor of them
Mm-hmm.
for the times when, you really need that. Because I think our audience today, a lot of them, they're like that for the most part because we all trust, or else we probably wouldn't be in the industry. But we're human too, so you know, time ticks and we're thinking,
Exactly.
well, where is it, right? So what are a few other things that people can, when they see it or they hear it or they feel it, they can say, okay, that's my reminder.
Yeah.
I'm on track.
Well, it's always nice. We always need some kind of check mark. We always need to look to see where are we,
Right.
right? And a reminder, because sometimes we forget that we started here and we want to end up over here, but we have moved along that path.
Right.
So we've come so far. So we can look for some measurable things depending on what the goal is.
Right.
Or we can look to see if we were judging things by, maybe it was emotional issues you were dealing with or spiritual issues. This issue used to bother me. These people would bother me, or this thing would show up in my life, and now it doesn't.
Right. That's a big one, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
To see what's not there anymore.
Yeah. Right? The kind of reaction I had, right? Things that would trigger something within me is not there any longer. So those are some of or I used to do it, or this used to happen to me, several times, and now I noticed I'm only doing it, or it's only happening 3 or 4 times.
Right.
So you know that, yeah, there are those changes.
Right. So I guess part of that is consistently looking at what is moving forward, what is going right, and that's either by what's showing up or what's not showing up.
Exactly.
And a funny thing about that is too, if you start to look at who you're attracting into your life, so whether that's potential clients or new friends or the types of people and how they communicate with you, you'll start to realize if your growth and moving in the direction where you want to go based on who's just showing up all the time. That's an important one too. So I think ultimately then too, one of the biggest things, it goes back to, which I know a lot of coaches teach, and then making sure we practice what we preach, of course, is whether it's journaling or an email to a friend every day, or even just a verbal, at the end of the day, you run through it in your head, and you start to focus on all the things that are going right, which includes things falling out of your life, things coming into your life, new opportunities.
Exactly.
And then that keeps you in the gratitude space and allows things to come back in. And I guess practicing a bit of patience with that, because big dreams tend to cultivate, take a bit more time.
Yes, exactly. And they happen in stages.
They happen in stages,
and when I work with clients, my coaching clients, we have a journal to get rid of all the old stuff that's coming up, just to write down what's ever happening, because journaling is an amazing tool for us to release what is holding us back. And then, in addition to the journal, which I call the process journal, is to have another journal, and I call it the joy journal.
Right.
And the joy journal is recording all the beautiful things. It's similar to a gratitude journal. I just happen to really love the word joy.
Joy, sure.
And so your joy journal, and that helps. And the more we do that, the more synchronicities, the more things show up in our life that's going to be in alignment with what is going on. And what I find as well, keeping the process journal and the joy journal increases our self-awareness. So that when we're self-aware, and that's some of the things that I work with clients. So how do you become self-aware? Self-aware is understanding that we are an energetic being and understanding our own energy field when that's out of balance. And I help clients learn some tools, some little energy tools to keep it in balance. I encourage different kinds of meditation. And as a shamanic practitioner, modern day shaman, going outside and hiking and sitting on the earth, whatever you do, and to really connect. Because a lot of the problems, from a shamanic point of view, is that we are not connected. We've lost that connection to the earth.
Right.
And we've lost the connection to nature. And a very, very important way for us is to go and reconnect with nature, reconnect with the elements.
Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of us out there, we're going to start focusing on what's going right,
Mm-hmm.
which includes what's leaving our lives and what's coming into our lives, keeping the joy journal,
Mm-hmm.
getting out in nature more, which, you know what, for entrepreneurs is a big
Mm-hmm.
one, because it's so easy to put that
Mm-hmm.
off,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're, well, I went to the gym today, or I did my yoga, or whatever. We still need to get outdoors into the trees, and that's really important for connection. Is there any other final tips that you can give the audience today to help them, I guess, well, really manifest faster?
Well, certainly tools like visualization and keeping up with your affirmations. And scientifically proven is that it takes a lot longer than just an affirmation every few minutes. Once or twice when you're all geared up to do it. It has to be for the long term in order for those changes. Again, it's like planting the seeds in your mind, and it takes a while to be accomplished.
And what is the long term? What's the definition of that? Is
long term is until whatever it is you want to bring into your life, you keep saying the affirmation, keep affirming that it's there until that comes to fruition.
Okay.
And then you can change it, because we all always have something that we're working toward, and affirmations is a way for us to have that reminder. And another little thing while I remember is that if you do run into some stuckness, where you realize then is the time maybe to go see a professional and get remotivated.
Yeah.
Right? To go see somebody so they can help you see what you can't see, because sometimes we have some blinders onto our own gifts and our own talents, and even to how far we've come, like we've been talking about.
Right.
So, and by talking to that professional, whether it's somebody that you see on a regular basis or some person that's meant to come into your life at this moment.
Right.
And they can really help you get motivated again.
Right.
And to get back, because it's not unusual for us to fall off track or off the bandwagon.
No, that's right. We're not perfect. Hey.
And so then is the time, and that's why there are people out there, professionals and coaches, to help us get that spark back and realize, I need that enthusiasm back.
Yeah.
So checking in with somebody and getting them to help you reignite that spark again.
Yeah, it is really important. I love having coaches. They're good tools, that's for sure. Of course, our coaches know that too, right?
Exactly.
Okay, well, for any of you who are watching and thinking that was a lot of information, don't worry, because there is a handout available for you that you can download from the blog. So just put in your name and email there, and you'll be able to get it so that you can get all the pointers on what you can look for to know that, yes, you are on track, even if it hasn't manifested yet. And also some things that you can do to maybe speed things up so that what you're looking for can come into fruition. And if you do have any questions for Regina, please put it in the comments below. As well, if you have a story that you can share about something that maybe took a bit longer than you thought, but you kept faith and you kept the trust, and it did come to fruition, or maybe you're still waiting for it, let us know in the comments, because we all learn from each other, and it's great motivation too to hear other people's stories about how things came to life for them, because sometimes we connect through those, and those are really great reminders to make you feel like, okay, I'm still going. Because I know personally for myself, that was actually a really important thing. That's why I read so many books and went to the seminars and coaches and all that, because I kept remembering, it's happened for them, it's going to happen for me. And it definitely got me through some of the tougher patches that happened on the path to entrepreneurship. So that's it so much. Thanks so much for being here. If you like this video, don't forget to comment and share it with your friends and family. And when you have a moment, go on over to jennifer-trask.com. Make sure you sign up for free updates as well. And other than that, thanks so much for being here. Thank you, Regina, for being here and sharing your insights with us. And we'll see you next week on The Magic of Marketing.